What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Rivian. I want to go over what the current data points are saying, what's been coming out from the company, and whether right now is a good time to buy or not. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rivian is down 5.53%. A ton of blood in the market, especially for EVs as a result of Tesla earnings. So currently Tesla is down about 10.5%. Lucid down 4.5%. There's Mullen about 22%, Faraday 33%. There's a ton of blood in the market. And I feel over the last little bit, not really much has been justified from Rivian's standpoint. So we'll just have to kind of wait and find out during the next earnings, which is on November the 7th, if I recall. And hopefully they are still as confident as they have been from the Q1 and Q2. But at the time of doing this video, no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing like that. So it has just been kind of getting dragged down with the broader market. And when it comes down to, for instance, there are some articles kind of coming out talking on the whole van deliveries. And of course, I think they're still doing fairly good in my opinion. Enough so, as you can kind of even see within Q3, Amazon.com did actually maintain their position. So they currently have around 158 million shares of Rivian. So pretty substantial when it comes down to that. And most likely I do anticipate a lot of other institutions to have increased their position in Rivian during that same time period, so Q3. So you do see private trust increased around 2,117%. Some new positions in green right here. So I think at the end of the day, though, a lot of the heavy hitters in the broader market, such as BlackRock, Vanguard, are all near the tail end of October. So that is the latest round of 13Fs to kind of pay attention to. But especially the fact that Rivian's been dragged down so much, you want to look at a lot of the multiples. So whether right now is a time to buy, you have to look at different things. Is on the global scale a lot of fears subsiding, or are they going away? As far as Rivian specific problems, are they going away? You kind of have to answer a lot of those questions. So starting off with specific to Rivian, right now the PS ratio is 5.8, 3.1 is the future. A lot of EVs are getting hit, especially based on Tesla and their earnings that kind of added a ton of additional fear. So right now the PS ratio for Tesla is around 3.5. So I do feel that anywhere from 3.5 to 5 is fairly acceptable for EVs right now. Of course, though, every company is different, has different basis of target markets and stuff like that. So with these whole vans, I feel like that adds an extra element of success potentially for Rivian, but still, no matter what though, isn't exempt from getting dragged down with the broader market. But when it comes down to on a larger scale, I do feel that a lot of the data points that's still coming out is still fairly strong. So even though I think there might be a continuation of a pullback, especially the broader technicals kind of point that as well, I feel like you need to really keep an eye on Rivian, because when things reverse in a positive way, things should go up very fast. And plus, you can kind of look at the technicals. When Rivian goes up fast, it goes up. It means business. And analysts oddly still seem to really like Rivian. So there was a new rating that did come out today by Trist Financial, and the analyst was Jordan Levy, who does have a 21% success rating, so not necessarily the best, but they did give a $26 price target. And beside the point, 9 days ago, UBS and also Needham, so Joseph and Chris, $24 and $31 price targets. And I have brought this up in the past, just on a comical kind of note. Just look at the success ratings on a lot of these EVs. Like, they are very, very bad. You get the occasional one like Daniel Ives, and even Joseph isn't too bad, 51%, but a lot of these are just absolutely pathetic, like Jordan Levy, for instance. But still, definitely, I think that's a good thing. And over the last little bit, analysts have started to really warm up to Rivian. So once again, I think that there is still a lot of upside with Rivian. So even though it is getting dragged down with the broader market, it's one of those stocks that you really need to kind of keep an eye on. But whether it is a time to buy right now or not, let's go over the rest of the data. On a side note, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, take a look at Interactive Brokers. I have a link in the description below and also the comments for all of this to be completely free. And actually, on a side note, while I am on here, for this upcoming earnings, which is again on November the 7th, if I recall, they do actually, it looks like an analyst recently recently did up their earnings per share. So it went from negative $1.34 to a negative $1.33. So once again, that's a fairly good thing. And most likely based on analysts, they are kind of not really believing that Rivian is going to be profitable by 2024. Based on this, it looks like it'll be early 2025. And when it comes to the revenue aspect, it looks like no real change for that. So still set at that 1.31 billion based on 18 analysts. But starting off with options activity, so $6.94 million in calls being purchased versus 19 million in puts. So a lot of people are anticipating Rivian to break down, and I do feel that the 19 million in puts isn't specific to Rivian. It's just more so because of them being classified as an EV. So I think that there's a lot of people that are under the impression that the whole market is just going to continue to pull back considerably, in fact. So once again, make sure you guys always do your own due diligence. But no matter what, when it comes down to options activity, this is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. If you are optimistic looking at the open interest for calls, this is all the strike prices, expiry dates. It is anticipated to be roughly, oddly enough, about between $15 and $16, so a little bit more negative there. And when it comes down to puts, similarly, it is anticipating to be around $15. So kind of weird when it comes down to that. These are some of the transactions that did occur today on the secondary market over $100,000. So fairly normal stuff. There's only one transaction over 1 million and it was 3.4. Majority of these transactions are buys, and you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, which is kind of good. Looking at the volume just a second, 38.72 million shares being traded. 46.89 is the average, and there's about 8 minutes left into the trading day. So who knows where we will land when it comes down to that. But the big question is, what is the technicals truly saying? So with it at $17.16, it is right now between this S3 and this S2. So in comparison to a lot of other growth stocks, it's not faring as well. And I think that's kind of the similar case for all EVs right now. So it's been hit very, very hard. So $16.69 is going to be that next strong support. Vice versa, $17.61 is going to be the next strong resistance. I do feel, and I kind of agree with the consensus, that the broader market is going to continue to trend down. So I feel that if you are looking for a long-term position, then potentially around this S3 might be advantageous. But be aware, if it does break below this S3, then anticipate obviously very low numbers. So maybe once again around the $15 range or 14 potentially. But once again, there's a lot of different moving parts when it comes down to this. And plus a lot of these videos like what I'm talking on and the technicals are just short term. If you do have a long-term time horizon on a lot of the EVs, such as even Rivian, then don't worry about the short-term price. Don't worry if you can kind of buy in at 16, 14, 17 years from now. You're not necessarily going to worry about that. But that's just my own interpretation, of course, as I am not a financial advisor. One final thing I just wanted to share with you is going over shorts. So shorts have really started to increase their position over the last couple of days within the EV sector. Still not here to say that it's going to be a squeeze play. I'm just bringing this up more as a benchmark. But short score is 67. Utilization is 42.32. Looking what shorts are doing, they are increasing just shy of around 1 million shares, so relatively small, kind of. 15.83% of the free float is being shorted. 104.67 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average right now is around 1.04%. So still relatively small. And the way I interpret this is by shorts increasing their position and it being a very red day, they're kind of saying that it's justified. So matching with the options activity. And looking here through the interactive broker short availability, there is more than around 10 million shares available to be shorted. So that, on a side note, is also kind of optimistic, because if shorts did feel that Rivian is justifiable to go down to maybe 15, then shorts would be increasing their position, because there is a ton of ammunition right here, but they're not. So once again, you need to find those diamonds in the rough. So kind of keep an eye on Rivian as far as the technicals, because the Q1 and Q2 earnings, in my opinion, were fairly good. So we'll just have to wait and find out for the Q3 earnings just to see what the numbers, true numbers, come in as, and whether their management is still as optimistic as they were in the previous quarters. Let me know your thoughts on Rivian. Give yourself a shout out in the comments if you have been buying, selling, holding, what you have been doing with Rivian. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo, link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for an account with me, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So link in the description below and also the comments. Take advantage of that while you can. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.